My wife, Jessica, announced, "I'm going to reverse my tubal ligation. My ex wants to have kids now." Assuming I'd be raising them, I just said, "Follow your heart." Then I filed for divorce and froze all my assets. Her lawyer called me 2 hours after the surgery. Here's the original story. I thought I had a solid marriage with Jessica, who's 41. We'd been together for 15 years, married for 12, with no kids. That was our agreement from day one. She had a tubal ligation 5 years into our marriage because we were so sure about it. I supported her completely. I drove her to the surgery, cared for her during her recovery. We built a comfortable life, a nice house in the suburbs, 2 international vacations a year, and solid plans for an early retirement. 3 weeks ago, on a Wednesday night, we were having dinner. She drops this bombshell on me between bites of pasta. "Chad contacted me. He wants to have kids with me." Chad. Her ex from before we met, the supposed love of her life who dumped her for a younger woman 16 years ago? "Okay," I said, trying to stay calm. "And you're telling me this because I'm considering getting my tubal ligation reversed." My fork literally clattered onto my plate. "You're what?" "He realized he made a mistake," she said. "We've been talking for months. He wants to try again. He wants a family with me." "You've been talking to your ex for months?" "Just catching up," she said quickly. "Nothing physical," as if that made it any better. "So you want to leave me for Chad?" This is where it goes from bad to completely insane. "No, I don't want to leave you. Chad can't afford to have kids on his own. He's between jobs right now, but we can afford it. You make good money. The house is almost paid off. We could raise them together." I just stared at her, waiting for the punchline. It never came. "You want me to raise your ex-boyfriend's children?" "Well, he'd be involved," she said, "just not financially. He'd be like a fun uncle who visits. A fun uncle who also happens to be the biological father." "You're making it sound weird." "It is weird." She actually got defensive, launching into a speech about how I was being close-minded, how modern families come in all shapes and sizes, and how this could be a beautiful thing. She talked about how Chad is artistic and sensitive and would bring different values to the kids' lives. "Jessica," I cut in, "we agreed on no kids. You had a major surgery to make sure we wouldn't have kids." "People change, Mark. I'm allowed to change my mind. You're allowed to change your mind. You're not allowed to bring your ex's children into my home and expect me to pay for them. Our house, our money, we're married." That's when I knew. This woman genuinely expected me to bankroll her second chance with her old flame. "Follow your heart, Jessica," I said quietly. She smiled, a genuine beaming smile. "Really? You'll consider it?" "No," I said. "I'm saying do whatever you want, but understand that I won't be a part of it." The smile vanished. Thursday morning, she was on her laptop researching tubal reversal surgeries before I even left for work. I made 2 calls that day, one to my lawyer and one to my financial advisor. Update 1. A week later, the reversal surgery was scheduled with surprising speed. Private clinic, expedited timelines, an $8,000 procedure. Guess who was expected to pay? On Monday morning, she slid a credit card authorization form across the breakfast table. "I just need your signature on this, Mark. The clinic needs the payment up front." "I'm not paying for that. It's our money, we're married. Money for you to have another man's children, that's a hard no." She flew into a rage, screaming that I was being financially controlling and emotionally manipulative. Her sister, Ashley, called an hour later. "What's this I hear about you refusing to pay for Jessica's medical care?" "Medical care? She wants to reverse her sterilization to have her ex-boyfriend's babies." "She's your wife, Mark. You support each other." "Supporting her doesn't mean funding her reunion tour with Chad." "You're being petty." "I'm being practical." Jessica ended up taking a hardship loan from her 401k, $10,000 with penalties. She was furious, claiming I forced her to do it. Meanwhile, I had met with my lawyer, Howard. Good guy, very thorough. He handled my colleague's divorce. "Howard, this Chad situation, do you have texts, emails?" "She's not hiding it. She's proud of it." "Get everything in writing," he advised. "Every single conversation about this arrangement." So I did. I started texting instead of talking. Me. "Just to confirm, you're having surgery to have Chad's biological children." Her. Yes, and you promised you'd support me. Me. I said, follow your heart. I never agreed to raise another man's kids. Her. You're my husband. Of course you'll help raise them. We're a team. Me. What's Chad's contribution to this team? Her. He'll provide the genetic material and the emotional support. Me. And financially? Her. He's rebuilding his life. You know that. Don't be cruel. Howard loved those texts. He said they'd be very helpful. The surgery was scheduled for Friday. On Thursday night, Jessica was packing her overnight bag. Humming. Actually humming. Chad's driving me tomorrow, she said. He wanted to be there to support me. How thoughtful. Don't be sarcastic. This is a beautiful thing. Creating life with him. You'll love the kids once they're here. You'll see. The delusion was total. Friday morning, I worked from home. At 9 a.m., after confirming she had checked in for her surgery, I initiated the plan. 1. Filed for divorce. Howard had everything ready to go. 2. Froze all joint accounts on my lawyer's advice. A temporary legal hold during divorce proceedings. 3. Switched my direct deposit to a new individual account. 4. Canceled all joint credit cards where I was the primary account holder. 5. Changed the beneficiary on my life insurance policy to my brother. 2 hours after her surgery, my phone blew up. It wasn't Jessica. She was still in recovery. It was her lawyer. Mr. Anderson, this is Janet Whitfield. I represent Jessica Anderson. What the hell did you just do? I filed for divorce, I said calmly. I assumed Jessica mentioned our situation. She's in recovery from surgery. You froze her accounts while she's in the hospital. The timing is unfortunate, but the decision was made when she chose Chad and their hypothetical children over our marriage. This is financial abuse. It's asset protection during a divorce proceeding, very standard. She needs access to funds. She had access. She spent $10,000 of it on a surgery to have another man's babies. Silence. Then, she said you agreed to this arrangement. I have text messages that prove otherwise. Would you like copies? We'll be in touch. Update 2. The aftermath. Jessica got home Saturday afternoon. Chad dropped her off. He didn't come inside, just gave a little wave from his beat-up old Honda. A real stand-up guy. She was walking slowly, still in pain. She found the divorce papers on the kitchen counter. The shriek could have shattered windows. What is this? Divorce papers. I thought that was clear. I just had surgery to have another man's children, she screamed, as if that was a point in her favor. Yes, I'm aware. You said to follow your heart. I did, and so did you. Now I'm following mine, and it's leading me to divorce court. She tried to use the credit card to order dinner. Declined. She tried to get cash from the ATM, account frozen. How am I supposed to eat? You have your loan money. That's for baby expenses, for our babies. You mean Chad's babies, and there is no our anymore. She called Ashley. She called her mom. She called Chad. The whole squad showed up Sunday morning. Ashley. You're a monster. She's recovering from surgery. Me. A surgery I didn't want, didn't approve, and didn't pay for. Jessica's mom, Carol. Marriage is about compromise. Me. Compromise. She wants me to raise her ex-boyfriend's kids while he plays weekend dad. Where's the compromise in that? Chad finally spoke up. Look, dude, I know this is unconventional. Chad, with all due respect, shut up. You couldn't keep her 16 years ago. You can't afford to have kids now, but somehow you convinced her to blow up her marriage for your genetics. You're either a master manipulator or she's lost her mind. Either way, not my problem anymore. You want her? Then you pay for everything. I'm between opportunities right now. What a shocker. Her family kept at it. You're leaving her with nothing. She'll get her fair share in the divorce, but I'm not funding the Chad breeding project. She gave you the best years of her life, and then she decided to give the rest of them to Chad. Actions have consequences. They left after Jessica started crying that her incisions hurt. Ashley helped her to the guest room. Yes, she's in the guest room now. That night, Jessica tried emotional manipulation. Remember when we got married? You said you'd do anything for me. Within reason, I replied. Raising your ex's children is not reasonable. You could learn to love them. I could also learn to juggle chainsaws. Doesn't mean I should. Chad says you feel threatened by him. Threatened? Chad is unemployed and trying to get his ex-wife to fund his legacy. I don't feel threatened. I feel disgusted. On Monday, she escalated, posting on social media. Some men just can't handle a woman choosing her own path. Controlling behavior, eyes abuse, financial abuse. My body, my choice. The comments were mixed. Her friends supported her. Mine saw right through it. My buddy Tim commented, "Didn't she choose the path straight back to her ex-boyfriend?" She deleted the post after someone else asked, "Wait, is this about Chad, the guy who dumped you for a 22-year-old? Update 3. The legal battle. 2 weeks post-surgery, Jessica hired Janet full-time. They came out swinging with their demands. 1. Full alimony for 5 years. 2. The house. 3. Half of my 401k. 4. Payment for all medical costs, including the reversal surgery. 5. Future child support for the potential children." Howard laughed. He actually laughed out loud. "Future child support for non-existent children with another man. That's a new one." We countered with the standard division of assets. No alimony. She has a full-time job. She keeps her 401k loan debt, a clean break. Janet responded with accusations of financial manipulation and reproductive coercion. Reproductive coercion? She's literally having surgery to reproduce with someone else. Mediation was scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. in a conference room at Howard's firm. Jessica showed up with Chad to our divorce mediation. Howard: "Is there a reason Mr. Collins is here?" Chad: "I'm here for emotional support." Howard: "This is a legal proceeding." Jessica: "He's my partner now." Me: "Since when? Since you left me?" Janet: "My client was forced to seek support elsewhere when Mr. Anderson withdrew all financial and emotional support." Howard: "He withdrew support for funding another man's children. Slightly different." We went in circles for 2 hours. Jessica insisted she needed the house for the babies. What babies? Apparently they were trying. Chad just sat there nodding like a bobblehead doll. Finally, the mediator asked Jessica directly, "Mrs. Anderson, is it true that you plan to have children with Mr. Collins while seeking support from Mr. Anderson?" Jessica: "Children deserve support regardless of biology." Mediator: "Children that don't exist." Jessica: "They will exist with Mr. Collins." Mediator: "Then perhaps Mr. Collins should provide the support." Chad: "I'm an artist. My work isn't about money." The look on the mediator's face was priceless. We reached no agreement. Howard filed for an expedited divorce based on irreconcilable differences and abandonment of the marriage covenant. Meanwhile, Jessica and Chad were playing house in my house. She'd moved him in temporarily because his roommate kicked him out, probably for not paying rent. I was staying in my brother's guest room, paying the mortgage on a house I couldn't live in because Romeo and Juliet were building their love nest. Friday night, I got a text from my neighbor. "Chad's moving furniture around. Thought you should know." My furniture, in my house, being rearranged by the unemployed artist. Update 4. The restraining order. Jessica escalated things beyond imagination. She changed the locks on my house, the house that is in my name only, purchased before the marriage. I went over on Saturday to get some clothes. My key didn't work. "Jessica, open the door," I yelled. Chad's voice came from inside. "You're not welcome here, dude. It's my house. Jessica lives here. You abandoned her. I'm calling the cops." "Go ahead," he taunted. "Tell them how you've been financially abusing her." The police arrived. The officer looked tired before I even started explaining. Officer: "So your wife lives here?" Me: "Ex-wife. Divorce is in process. The house is my separate premarital property." Officer: "But she lives here." Me: "She changed the locks while I was staying elsewhere to avoid conflict." Officer: "Sir, this is a civil matter. You'll have to take it to court." From the doorway, Chad smirked. You heard the man. The smug look on his face. The damn smug look. Monday, Howard filed an emergency motion for exclusive use of the residence. The judge scheduled it for Wednesday. On Tuesday night, I was served. Jessica had filed for a restraining order, claiming I was harassing her and threatening Chad. The petition read, "He showed up at the house aggressively. He has been controlling finances to manipulate her. He is preventing me from starting a family. I fear for my safety." Howard was furious. This is pure manipulation. She's trying to establish residency and paint you as the aggressor. The hearing on Wednesday was a circus. Jessica showed up wearing a maternity dress. She's not pregnant. She had surgery just a few weeks ago. But there she was, hand on her flat stomach, playing the victim. Janet argued that I was economically terrorizing a woman trying to fulfill her maternal destiny. Howard presented the deed proving my sole ownership, the text messages about Chad and the kids, the bank records showing her $10,000 loan, and my neighbor's security footage of Chad moving in. Judge: Mrs. Anderson, are you pregnant? Jessica: Not yet, but I'm hoping to be soon. Judge: With a child by Mr. Collins? Jessica: Yes. Judge: While married to Mr. Anderson? Jessica: He abandoned me by not agreeing to raise another man's children. A long silence filled the courtroom. Judge: Restraining order denied. Motion for exclusive residency is granted to Mr. Anderson. You have 48 hours to vacate. Jessica screamed, an actual guttural scream in the middle of court. This is discrimination. I have rights. The judge was unmoved. You have the right to continue your relationship with Mr. Collins. Elsewhere. Update 5. The Move-Out Day Massacre. Friday. Moving day. I hired 2 off-duty cops for security. Best $400 I ever spent. Jessica and Chad showed up with a U-Haul at 8 a.m. Ashley was there. Carol was there. Even Chad's mom showed up, a woman I'd never met, who immediately started screaming about injustice. Chad's mom: You're putting my son out on the street. Me: Your 38-year-old unemployed son who's having an affair with my wife? Yes, I'm the bad guy here. They started loading boxes. Jessica was weeping, making sure everyone saw her tears. Then Chad tried to carry out my flat-screen TV. That's mine, I said. Jessica uses it, he shot back. So it's mine. I have the receipts in my file cabinet. Don't be petty, dude, says the guy sleeping with my wife. One of the cops stepped forward. Sir, put the television down. Chad backed down fast, such a tough guy. Ashley tried next. Jessica needs furniture for her new place. Then she can buy some. With what money? You froze everything. She has a job. Chad's an artist. Figure it out. Carol pulled out her phone and started recording. This is what financial abuse looks like, forcing a woman out of her home. It's literally my house. Community property. Howard, who had shown up to observe, chimed in. Separate premarital property, actually. Here's the deed. Carol kept recording anyway, muttering about viral videos and justice. The real drama hit when Jessica tried to take my grandmother's dining set. No way, I said. We picked it out together. At my grandmother's estate sale, with my money. I need it for the babies. What babies? You just had surgery. The future babies. Chad's babies. Our babies. There is no our. There's you and Chad. Leave the furniture. She burst into tears. You're so cruel. I wasted 15 years on you. Funny way to describe a marriage you're leaving for your ex. Chad stepped forward, puffing out his chest. You need to show some respect. Respect? You're literally stealing my wife and trying to steal my television. They were finally gone by 2 p.m., the U-Haul half empty because most of their stuff was actually mine. Jessica's parting shot: You'll regret this when you die alone. Better than raising Chad's kids, I called back. Update 6, the fallout. 3 days after the move, Jessica and Chad were staying with Ashley. Apparently it wasn't going well. I got a call from Ashley, the first time she'd sounded tired instead of angry. They need to borrow money. No. I'm not asking for them. I'm asking because they're driving me crazy and they need their own place. Still no. Chad isn't even looking for a job. He says he's processing the trauma of the move. Sounds about right. And Jessica keeps talking about baby names. She's not even pregnant yet, but they're trying, loudly, in my guest room. My kids are asking questions. And you want me to help? God, you're right. This is insane. What was she thinking? The cracks were starting to show. Meanwhile, the divorce was moving forward. Janet had stopped returning Howard's calls as quickly. Jessica's demands were getting desperate. The latest offer? She'd take $50,000 in cash and walk away. Howard: Honestly, Mark, that's not terrible. Me: She cheated on me with her ex and wanted me to raise his kids. She gets the standard split, nothing more. Howard: You could end this quickly. Me: She made me abandon my own house for 2 weeks. She changed my locks. She doesn't deserve a dime extra. Thursday, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Chad. We need to talk man to man. Me, hard pass. Chad, I'm trying to be respectful here. Me, you're sleeping with my wife. That ship has sailed. Chad, she's divorcing you. She's not your wife. Me, legally, still married. Genius. Chad, I need you to know I'm going to take care of her. Me, with what money? Chad, love doesn't need money. Me, babies do. Good luck without my wallet. He went on for paragraphs about destiny and connection and how they were meant to be, how I was standing in the way of true love. Me, you had your chance 16 years ago. You chose someone younger. Now you're broke and need an income stream, Jessica volunteered. Not my problem, Chad. You're just bitter. Me, I'm just realistic. Stop texting me. I blocked him. Friday afternoon, Jessica showed up at my work. Security called me. She looked rough, hair unwashed, no makeup, same clothes I'd seen her in 3 days ago. Mark, we need to talk. Only through our lawyers. I'm pregnant. For a split second, my blood ran cold. Then I did the math. You're what? It's been 3 weeks since the surgery. The doctor said it was possible. Congratulations. Chad must be thrilled. He is, but we need help. No. The baby is innocent. The baby is Chad's responsibility. Are you really going to let a child suffer? Am I really going to let Chad step up and provide for his own kid? Yes. She started to cry, ugly, heaving sobs. The security guard looked uncomfortable. I made a mistake. Several, actually. I should have talked to you first. You should have been faithful to our marriage. We can fix this. You are supposedly pregnant with Chad's baby and you're asking me to fix this? You could be the father, like an adoption. The security guard coughed to cover a laugh. Jessica, go home, to Ashley's or wherever. Just go. This isn't over. Actually, it is. Final update. 2 months later, the divorce was finalized last week. Here's where everyone ended up. The asset division was a standard 50-50 split of marital property. The house was mine, premarital, but I had to buy out her share of the equity gain during the marriage. It was worth every penny to have her gone. She walked away with about $73,000 total. Not the fortune she was hoping for, but not nothing. The pregnancy was a lie. Surprise, surprise. Ashley confirmed Jessica got her period 2 weeks after that scene at my office. She was never pregnant, just desperate. Chad lasted exactly 34 days after the divorce was finalized. Once the reality set in that there was no house, no money stream, no comfortable life, just Jessica's rapidly dwindling $73K for deposits and furniture, he bolted. His exit was pathetic, even by Chad's standards. Jessica woke up to a note. I need to find myself. This isn't working. Sorry. He took $5,000 in cash he had withdrawn for the non-existent baby's furniture and vanished. Jessica called me at 2 a.m., sobbing. He left me. Okay, I said. Is that all you have to say? What did you expect me to say? I gave up everything for him. Yes, you did. You must be happy. I'm indifferent. I want to come home. That's not your home anymore, Jessica. We had 15 good years and you threw them away for Chad. I hung up. According to Ashley, who I still text with occasionally, we're weirdly on good terms now. Jessica is living in a 1-bedroom apartment, working overtime to cover her bills. She's tried dating apps, but apparently telling guys you just had your sterilization reversed for your ex-boyfriend is not a selling point. Who knew? Chad posted on Instagram from Costa Rica last week. Finding myself through art and adventure. With another, younger woman, of course. Carol called me once, trying to guilt-trip me into helping Jessica. Carol. She's really struggling. Me. She's an adult who made her choices. Carol. She was confused. Me. She was calculating. It just didn't work out for her. Carol. Don't you feel anything? Me. Relief. And honestly, it's true. The house is peaceful. I've redecorated. I got a promotion at work, free from the drama at home affecting my performance. I've started dating casually. Nothing serious, but she has yet to mention wanting me to fund her ex-boyfriend's children, so that's already an improvement. The best worst part? Jessica sent a Christmas card. A Christmas card with a photo of herself next to a sad little tree in her apartment. Inside, it read, "Thinking of better times. Maybe the new year means new beginnings?" I texted Ashley. Did Jessica really just send me a Christmas card? She's convinced you'll take her back eventually. Based on what? Delusion, mostly. She keeps saying you two are meant to be. We were meant to be until Chad sent her a message. Now she calls him the mistake. The mistake that cost her everything. Does she know it? Good. Last I heard, Jessica was considering moving back to her hometown. Rent is cheaper and she could stay with her parents. Carol would love that. She could tell Jessica daily how evil I am while Jessica comes to the slow realization that Chad played her like a cheap harmonica. As for me, life is good. Quiet, drama-free, the way our marriage was supposed to be, before my wife decided her unemployed ex's genetic material was worth more than our life together. She wanted me to raise Chad's kids. Instead, she got to experience Chad's level of commitment. She wanted to follow her heart. It led her straight to a one-bedroom apartment and a maxed-out credit card. The arrogance was stunning. The assumption that I would just go along with it was insulting. The shock when there were consequences? Priceless. Do I feel bad? Sometimes, late at night, I remember the good times. Then I remember her sitting across from me, enthusiastically explaining how I would pay for Chad's offspring while he played weekend.